In this video, I want to show you how you can use a QGIS plugin to import layers and load them into the map canvas here in QGIS, and also how you can make those layers register on your in your plugin user interface. And so I have these layers loaded in here, and what I've done is I've created a plugin. Just the base of the plugin, it's called Import Example, and you can see it here. There's nothing we have going on in here yet, and we're going to populate this, and we'll make a little drop down that shows all our vector layers, a drop down that shows all our raster layers, and then a button that can load those layers in from another source. Okay, and so that's the plan, and let's get started here. So let's see here. Here we go. So here's the code for our plugin, and I'll just open up our main file here, and then we'll need to open up our UI file with Qt Creator here. Oh, and it has stopped working. Let's see if it will run the second time. Here we go. Okay. So we've got it here, and what I want to do, I'll make this just a hair bigger, move those down there, and I want to add, first of all, let's add a label, and vector layers, and then we'll add a combo box. It'll have show our vector layers, and then we'll add I want a tool button up here, and this will allow us to load in additional vector layers. Copy those, paste them right down here, and we'll just make this raster layers. Okay. I don't know why that ended up in there. Okay. Now let's just take a look and make sure we got the names here. Tool button 2, tool button, combo box 2, combo box, label 2, label. Okay, so we can, I guess, make this a little smaller. We don't need it to be as big as it is. Just resize this a hair here. And let's save that. Okay. Now we will go back to QGIS, and I need to set my plugin reloader. Import example. Okay. And let's just hit reload. And now let's make sure that, okay, there you go. We have our combo boxes. Nothing in there works yet. Oh, and that didn't get renamed to raster layers. So let's just close that. Let's go back over to it, and let's just rename it. Must have made a mistake there when I was fixing this. Okay, let's save that. I did Control S, that saves things. And go back to our import example. Okay, so here's our code. Now what I want to do is in this init GUI function, the GUI initialization, I want to start connecting some of these things up and populating them. And so the first thing I want to do here is, I think what I want to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is make it so that I can load my layers into those combo boxes. And to do that, let's make a new function and let's call it load vectors, and that's all we should need there. And here we'll do load vector layers to UI combo box, and then let's go def load rasters, and we'll do load raster layers to UI combo box. Okay, so let's start out with our vectors here, and let me just take a look at my notes to make sure I do this right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do and let's just make sure I've named that correctly. With the capital B. I want to clear the combo box to make sure that anything that was left there before is gone. And so then we're going to do layers equals self.iface. So this is just going to get our main cute program window. We want to get the legend interface, and we're going to get the layers from there. Okay, and then we're going to make a list. We'll call this vector list, and it's going to be an empty list. And we're going to go for layer in layers if layer type is equal to, and I probably need to add an import here just to make sure we have it. And I don't see it here, so let's go from QGIS.core, and we'll just import everything. Okay. Back down. Let's see, there we are. Oh, let me zoom in here so you guys can see the code a little better. Sorry for not doing that sooner. Hopefully that's a little better for you. So if our layer type, QGIS, map layer, vector layer. So if it's a vector layer, then we're going to do, we have vector list dot append, and we're going to do layer name. So this will give us a layer name if it's a vector layer. And then we're going to combo box. We're going to add the items, add that list to the combo box. Okay, so let's go in and make sure that this works in QGIS. So we'll reload our plugin, and we have a problem. So let's check what our stack trace is. Line 200, expected an indented block. Okay, let's check this out here. Oh, so we've got a problem with our, I think we don't have any code here maybe is what the problem is, so we'll just copy this down here. And we'll do the same thing for rasters. We'll see how this works. Okay. We want to make this, first of all, a raster layer. I'm going to change this to raster list. Make this raster list. And then we'll make this raster list. Okay. Now I just realized something, and that's that we have to, this code isn't going to run unless we call it somewhere. And so what we can do is in our init GUI function, we can call self.loadVectors and self.loadRasters. And this will initially, once the GUI is created, hopefully load those files. So let's see if this, okay, we're still getting a problem here. Oh, and I just didn't name something correctly, it looks like. So let's go, yep, that should be combo box. That should be combo box, and that reminds me that the raster is going to be combo box too. Sorry here, folks, I am having a little bit of trouble getting all this right. Okay, let's go back. Let's see if this works. Okay, import example, let's reload it. And once again, got an error. And I spelled interface wrong. Look at that. I'm having all kinds of issues today. That means it's got to be in both these spots. Okay. Now let's go back and run it again. And we got another error. And this is how it goes. Oh, I forgot to put the O in those, okay. Let's see. Combo box. Okay. Here we go again. We'll see if it works. Okay, and it appears that we're doing okay now. Let's see if it works here. Open. It's loaded these up a whole bunch of times. Hopefully it's this last one here. Yep, there it is. Okay. So now you can see, so I've got these 3 vector layers on top. We have some streamlines, some watershed boundaries, and some quad map boundaries, and then we have these rasters behind them. And so you can see I've got those 3 vector layers there, and I have those 2 raster layers there. Okay, great. But you can see that I can't change, oh, it did change it, there we go. Okay, so you can see I can change those. Now, these buttons don't have any functionality. We want to give those some functionality, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to open a raster vector file, and when we do that, it's going to add it to the list, as well as add it to our map document. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove one of these rasters. We'll add that one back in, and we'll move one of the vectors as well. So we can add that back in. Okay, now let's go back to our code here. And let's add a function. And let's do, oh, we gotta do def open vector. Okay, open vector from file dialog. Alright, now let me just check my notes again here. Make sure I get this right. Okay, so we want to go in file. This will be our input file. And we're going to get that. We want to take a string of Q. Okay. So we don't have Q file dialog imported, so we got to add an import up here. I think what we can do is we'll just import everything there. And let's see here. Open vector string Q. file dialog. We want to get open file name, and we're going to filter it, so we can only open shape files here. So we're going to do filter equals shape files, and we're going to limit this to only let us open files that end in .shp. And because this is going to return a tuple, and so we'll take the first element of that tuple, which will be the file name, and it should only have one element in it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, oh, but it's in file, and it's not even capitalized. Is not none. So we just want to make sure that this file actually has a file path in it, and if it's empty, we're not going to do anything. If it has a file name, we're going to add a vector layer to the map document. And we're going to add in file, and then, so this is going to be the path to the file, and we got to give it a name. And so I'm going to do a string split and take the base name of the file. And so what base name will give me is it will give me the file name and its extension. And I'm going to split it with a period. And then I'm going to take the first element of that, and then I need to give it a source, which is OGR. That's what I'm going to do for shapefiles. Okay, and so this should give me just the file name without the extension, and it's going to get added there. Okay, and now what I also want to do is reload the vector layers into that combo box, and so it'll add it to the map box and add it to the combo box. Okay, now let's check and make sure that our code works. Let's see how many more errors we have when I reload this. Okay, no errors. Let's make sure this works. So we go to plugins, import example, and you can see we have these working. We've got 2 vectors, 1 raster. Oh, okay. Good deal. So our code works, but I haven't done one important thing yet, and that is up here in our initialize GUI. I need to go self.dialog.toolButton.clicked. So when the tool button is clicked, we want to connect it to self.loadVectors. Okay. That should take care of things there. Okay, let's try this again. Stack trace. Okay, let's take a look at that. Oh, and what the problem is this shouldn't have parentheses on it. And let's reload this. And now let's go to our plugin, import example, and click on it. And it's still not loading. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to see if I can figure out what the problem might be here. Okay, so I figured out the problem, and it's me just not being on top of my game again. So I put in load vectors when what I wanted to put in was open vector. Okay, so that will hopefully give us what we want. Let's check it out here. Click on the button, and there we go. There's our file dialog. Let me go into a folder here, and I pulled out the quads. Let's open that, and you can see it's added these quads in. You can see that shapefile in there, and if I click here, it's also loaded quads in there. Okay, great. Now let's go back here quick and do the same thing for our vectors, or for our rasters. Okay, and so did I create? Nope, I didn't create the function yet. Okay, so let's do that. So open raster. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this, and I'll try to do a better job of copying and pasting than I did last time. And this one, I'm only going to do GeoTIFF files, and they can be a TIFF, they can be a TIFF, and sometimes they're capitalized. And so we'll give it those 4 file extensions. And here we want to go add raster layer, and it doesn't take that second argument. And then we want to go, or that third argument, I guess, load rasters. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to check my notes real quick to make sure I've done this correctly, since I had a lot of troubles last time. Okay, and it looks like we're hopefully going to be okay there, so let's go and reload our plugin. Okay, looks like we're good. Click on it. This should open my... Oh, I forgot to add that again. Okay, let's go back over to our code. And self DLG tool button to clicked connect self dot open raster, no parentheses after the function call, and back to QGIS, reload our layer, plugins, import example, here we go, click on it. You can see I've limited GeoTIFF files down there, and we are going to go to this folder, and we're going to open this one, and you can see that it's added in there, and we have both of them here now. Okay, and so that's how you can add those in. Now I want to show you one more thing that's a little trickier to do. It took me a little time to figure out, and you might find it useful. So what we're going to do real quick is let me go in and let's go back to our dialog here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a line edit right under the raster layers. And what I want to happen is when I click this button and load a raster, I want the file name to appear right here, the raster file I just loaded. Now usually you'd have either a combo box or a line edit. I just want to show you this line edit because it's something that took me some time to figure out, and I want to save you that time if I can here. So let's save that. And let's just make sure that's called line edit. Okay. And so the way we're going to do this is, let me check my notes again here. I'll be right back. I just want to make sure I get this correct for you this time. Okay, so let's go over to our code. And we're going to make a new function. We're going to, we'll call it set line edit text. Okay, and it's going to take an argument. We're going to call it line edit. And this is going to be the line edit from the GUI that we want to update. And so what we're going to do is we are going to do line edit dot set text, and we're going to set the text with self open raster. Okay, we have to update open raster here too to return in file. Okay, so now it's going to return the file that it received and set the text here. Now what we need to do is we need to set this up. We need to connect this so that when here we go. So when we call when the tool button 2 is clicked, it calls this. And we're going to do this using a different command here. So we're going to do lambda, which allows us to link those functions. And I'm going to change this. So this is going to be set line edit text, and we're going to do self.dlg.line edit. Okay. Now let's make sure this works here, and go over to QGIS, reload our plugin, our import example, have our line edit here. Let's I don't know what this file is, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, and it opened that template file. You can see it here. You can see it add a template to our list, and it also gave me the full path of template in the line edit. So there you have it. There's your tutorial on how you can use the dialogues in QGIS to import new layers into your map view here. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.